which I love, is not just what we eat, it's also what we put on our skin, because that gets in. It turns out that what we put on us is just as important as what we put into us. And I wrote about 12 years ago in Hormone Deception, a breakthrough environmental book, that there was a coming up link of different plastics with increasing our risk of diabetes. Well, it turns out that we slather ourselves from morning till night with different lotions, and many of them contain plastics. And some of the breakdown products of these plastics are now being linked to diabetes. In a very recent article in Diabetes Care, they were actually able to measure the amount of breakdown products of plastics in people 70 and older and show that when you had higher amounts of these plastics in your blood, they had 25 to 30% greater increased risk of the bad bugaboo, type 2 diabetes. So we want to look for lotions and potions that we slather on us that do not contain those 4 metabolites, those breakdown products, and I'm going to have them mentioned on the website. We want to really look at and support companies like Climb On. It's called Climb On because it was originally designed for mountain climbers. I really love that, people who are out there really pushing their envelope. And it's a sunscreen that does not contain any of those nasty plastics, and it contains only natural components that are anti-inflammatory and healthy. I searched far and wide a few years ago for a perfume that was plastic-free. It's really hard to find. And I was using a form that was sold only at Neiman Marcus and Saks, so it was really expensive. I loved Creed, and then they vaulted the scent that I totally loved, and I had to go again recently on another journey of finding a perfume that was free of these metabolites, these plastics that are linked to blood sugar issues and insulin resistance. I finally found that they're now selling more and more if you know how to ask for them. When you go into a store, ask for phthalate-free lotions and potions and perfumes. This is in colognes, men and women, children. We don't want to slather on our bodies junk lotion, which is only going to promote the possibility that we're more at risk of disease. You know that new car smell that everybody just loves? You get into a car and it's got that new car smell. Those are phthalates, those plastic end products, outgassing. So we're going to hear a lot more about air filters in cars as we turn off our air conditioning unit in the car. Benzene, which is a known carcinogen and linked to the big one, breast cancer, outgasses into the car. So we sit in our cars all day long and we're inhaling junk air. I think we're going to hear a lot more about air filters in our car, just like we talk about air filters in our water. And in Hormone Deception 12 years ago, I talked a lot about filtering all the water in the house, which we're seeing more and more. We all live in a toxic soup, but we benefit from the many conveniences of the wonderful toys and objects that make our lives more fascinating and facile. So don't get dismayed by needing to consider all this. Just try to do a better job of what you put on yourself as well as what you put in. And in the future, we just need to filter, filter, filter more. And in the interim, in case you can't, ventilate, ventilate, ventilate. Leave your car window open when it's in the garage. Leave it open when you finish driving it. When you're driving it, open it a little bit if you can. Open the windows in your own home. So if you can't afford a filter, the inexpensive way to go is to ventilate, ventilate, ventilate. There's always some answer for something, one that costs a little bit less, one that costs a little bit more. But the whole purpose of the story is, even though we live in this new complex merging chemical multifactorial universe, we can do a better job of being cleaner, leaner, and not